Side to the stripe, and green flag racing in Rush SR race 4.
And that's Leach on the outside in the white car in the Stig. And Gamma getting a really good run. He did this in the first one. Somebody locking up big time Mick Pat. But look at Radman in that blue chrome car just ramping the outside.
And the Team Rapscallion guys side by side right behind Ayrton Grimm. It's tight there as Hamilton and Forsberg fight. And whoa, one of the two got to the inside of Grimm, forced him offline there at the left-hander.
Yep, they have to give it up though, as Grimm was able to just get enough of the nose in front. And off we go. And let's just listen to these cars. They sound awesome. They handle great. They're so fun. Watch them here through West Bend. This is spectacular.
Down the hill towards the diving turn now, the Rush Stig. Ryan Leach, Radman, Gamma, Grimm. We'll see how things filter out this time through a little side-by-side even through the last corner. That's the other thing, because they're so narrow, you can fit a lot more side-by-side than you can a full-size race car. The Team Rapscallion guys door-to-door. It's Hamilton leading, and Forsberg down the inside, crosses over, and that's actually Hamilton that did that.
Yep.
And they switched spots just like that.
Oh, and the Forsberg, huge rotation at the back, but hangs on to it. While all that was happening, Ayrton Grimm went around Cole Gamma going into turn one, so he's moved up into fourth.
And he's on it. It took him a little while longer in the previous races to find some pace, but he is on a mission now to make up for those foibles from earlier in the weekend.
And Nick Billingsley, the number 9, in that previous race, for a while he spent time in a Rapscallion sandwich there and eventually just dropped. Oh, the big bounce there for Forsberg, collecting that curb. That's a really rough curb. You get up on it there at West Bend, and a problem for the number 19.
Kelsey Billingsley.
Yeah, that's a shame.
So she's off course, I think out of the way as Cole Gamma has a look down the inside of Ayrton Grimm. Grimm doesn't go defensive. He'll leave the door open, and Gamma goes back by.
Oh, it's so fun. They use up so much track, carry nice little slides, and that tells you that they've got aero, but it's not massive on these cars. And, as a result, you got to feel the car. It's mechanical grip as much as aero here, and this makes it a driver's category, no question.
Up over the crest, and the Rush Stig leaving Leach behind, and Leach got the front tires of that Rush SR off the ground.
Sure did. And he too got that curve, and you can just see it unloaded the front, and he just walked him sideways a little bit.
I asked Ayrton Grimm if they were getting air over the uphill. He said absolutely. Sometimes 4 tires off the ground. They might have downforce, but it's not enough to stick him to the road with such a sharp uphill turning flat so quickly.
Well, that's that argument we've been talking about the argument in physics between all the rebound in the springs as you come up over that and the downforce trying to squash you back down on track. And in these cars, the rebound wins.
It sure does. And look at this, Radman and Gamma and Grimm, 3rd, 4th, and 5th in line. And Grimm chucking the car around. You can just tell how much more comfortable he's gotten over the course of the weekend. And these cars seem to like an aggressive input. There's other sports racers, Greg, that I think you kind of need to drive so smoothly. But these will take a bit more of an aggressive input because they're not completely downforce ridden. You're able to kind of hang the car out on the edge and really drive the car, almost like a mini GT car in a way.
Yeah, you really can. You can just give it a little bit here. And, one of the things is, I think that this car also takes a nice little set. And, look at this Gamma going to take a big run down to the inside on Radman, goes straight to the apex. And if he can hold the line here, he's going to make that pass stick, and does. That was pretty.
That was very well executed. You know what I've liked? Is that every time we come down here to turn 1, these drivers have the option to run a defensive line, but they don't. They're leaving the door wide open, and just like in Gridlife Touring Cup, the worst thing that can happen by leaving a guy a lane is that you're going to have a great race, and we're seeing that play out.
Oh, this battle for 3rd is fabulous here. Radman, Gamma, and Grimm swapping positions left and right. Yes, it has allowed the Stig and Ryan Leach to open up about a 2.5-second margin. But believe me, these guys are grinning inside those helmets here. They are having huge fun.
Onto the front straightaway again, topping out north of 125 miles an hour with the cog configuration and the 6-speed sequential transmission that they've got.
I wondered if Grimm, is he close enough here?
I don't think so.
He didn't think so.
Forsberg and Hamilton are mighty tight into turn one, and they are going to go side by side for a moment. They'll sort it back out. But these two have not held punches, have they?
No, they have not. They have gone at it here, absolutely. And Forsberg has been in the first two races, even though Hamilton out-qualified him, Forsberg was the one that was able to come through and put together the better finishes here, but Nate got him in round 3. Nate would like to even that so they could walk out of here going, okay, it's 2 for 2, got it.
We'll have to do it again at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca.
Exactly.
Rematch. But it's been fun to watch these drivers take on a completely different side of motorsports and excel at it in the way that they have. And also, don't not forget that it's all about fun.
Yeah, exactly.
The reason they did this is because it's fun, and I think that's a key point for those two drivers.
And, obviously what they do, drifting, is massive fun, but this is fun of just a different sort. And I'm really impressed with how quickly those guys have learned, you can't throw it in there, you can't pitch it. And this is going to scrub speed, it's going to be slow. They've just dialed out all of that drift and just focused on this. It's been great.
But what carries over is their car control, the feeling.
Oh,
that,
yeah.
You've got that butt sensor that tells you how far sideways you are. And I think in a downforce car with a lot of grip, that pays off. They're looking for different things, but they're tuned into the car, and that's been advantageous to them as Radman maybe feeling a bit of pressure from 15-year-old Ayrton Grimm. And look at this battle back here for position. It's a little deeper in the field.
Yeah, I think that's the 48 at Tang, and that might be Burns. And they are having a really good scrap. But we're talking for 12th, 13th right here, putting on a really good show. And I'm glad you said what'd you call it? The butt?
The butt sensor.
Yeah.
That's probably a more eloquent way to say that.
No, I love it because I've said for years, with all the sensors on race cars nowadays, the two most important sensors are still the ones labeled LC and RC, and that's left cheek, right cheek. And it doesn't matter what the other ones are saying. If you're not feeling it in the car, you're not going to be fast. And, it's the drivers that just have that innate feel that really have the gift here.
So the Rush Stig leads by 1 second over Leach. Then it's Gamma, Radman, and Grimm, and this is the closest battle inside the top 5 at the moment. Rob Radman and Grimm jumping in. Ooh, little slip there at West Bend. That was a bit of a bobble, and he chased it all the way to the rumble strips.
Yeah, he did. And Gamma has been able, because Grimm now is occupying Radman a bit, Gamma's been able to build about a second lead here in that bright yellow car as they come flying through. Then that beautiful chrome blue Rush SR of Radman. Second in the points coming in, but at a huge deficit to Ryan Leach, who has just been spectacular. By my reckoning, he came in with 9 wins. He now is 12. I mean, that's a season.
Give this another season, the amount of competition you're going to see at this going forward.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they've put this on display at Road America and here at Lime Rock Park in a way that I think has caught the attention of so many people. I mean, Forsberg and Hamilton included, but others watching from home, when they go onto the Rush Auto Works website, they see 40 grand, you could be a part of this.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Oh, without a doubt. If I was going to be looking at going racing right now, this is where I'd go. I just think bang for the buck, the operating cost per hour, a reasonable pocketbook could, you could do it here and not have that huge expense. And Grimm has been closing in on Radman here. He's just never been able to get through the diving turn quite enough to be able to, have that run to be able to get him down into Big Bend.
Yeah, he's just been matching Radman's pace and learning so much following all these drivers. And, at the beginning, whoa, look at this. This is behind, I think this is behind Forsberg. It's Billingsley and Oehler putting some pressure on P7.
Well, I think after what happened in the previous race when Billingsley was between those two, the Forsberg and Hamilton car, and then had that off down at the bottom of the diving turn, I think he'd like nothing better than to be able to sneak through and take that spot away from Forsberg and say, I gave it to you last time.
Oh, trouble for Grimm, and he's just pulled off to the right.
Well, he'd been closing on Radman, and then he just suddenly started to lose a little bit of ground. I thought maybe he just had a little bobble somewhere, but that's big.
White flag, too, and that's unfortunate. Grimm needed 1 lap less. But Ayrton Grimm, a mechanical problem at the top of the hill. He's pulled off to driver's right. That just leaves Stig, Leach, Gamma, Radman, and now Nate Hamilton into 5th place.
Yeah, great run. Well, what a story that'll be for, one of those drift legends to be able to pop up into the top 5 here and really doing a nice job at this point. You got to be impressed with it. And I got my eyes on Billingsley here. He's still glued to the back of Forsberg.
Over and through the yellow flag at the top of the hill there. So no passing in the uphill, but the rush Stig looks like he's going to do it again over Ryan Leach. Down through the diving turn for the final time. Rush SR race 4 goes to the rush Stig and Ryan Leach. And, well, the Stig pulls over. Ryan Leach will pull through and win the race. This is going to promote Chris Forsberg into the top 5. So Leach, Gamma, Radman, Hamilton, Forsberg are going to be your top 5 here in Gridlife Rush SR.
That's pretty impressive, isn't it?
Yeah.
What a story here. And then the rest of the field coming through. And Billingsley just couldn't quite get anything done with Forsberg there, but what a story here. But Radman, nice for him. He's back on the podium here. But Cole Gamma, once again, putting up some good numbers. He started off with 2/3, then a second. So he's had 4 podiums here. Cole Gamma letting everybody know that, I'm not too far off here of the pace of those front guys.
Yeah, so again, Leach, Gamma, Radman, Hamilton, Forsberg, your top 5. For those that don't know, the Rush Stig is the factory driver. So sometimes he stays on the road, sometimes he does not. But that'll conclude Gridlife Rush SR race number 4. That was a fun one, Greg, and we're going to have a very short drift session, about 10 minutes worth, that will lead us into our final on-track action of the day. It's been a fun one, and drift is up next.